All right, here we go.
Hey, welcome back to STS Shooting the Shit. I'm Kathy Smithy, and the voice in our heads is Kevin Williams.
That would be me.
Russ couldn't make it for this episode. We're recording at Eastwood Recording in Florence, Mississippi. Subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode.
Ding, ding.
Today in the studio, we have Keith Plunkett and Brad Caraway of Dirt Deacons.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out and STSing with us, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you having us.
All right.
Yes,
Yep.
we are so glad y'all are here. So, is there anything going on that we need to know about?
No.
No,
Yeah,
okay.
there's everything
All right,
going
well,
on.
it's
that
good
we
having
need to
y'all
know
on.
about.
Thank you.
Nothing and everything.
Thank you
That's
and good
right.
night.
So let's go in between. We have nothing and everything. Sounds
I'm a golfing professional,
I'm talking about-
but I'm not a professional golfer. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
so Billy Allen, if you're watching,
He just,
How do you follow that
he
shit?
just roasted
How do
you.
you follow
the
that
bar
shit?
supposedly has been set high. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe we shouldn't play limbo with the bar that you set.
Oh,
But
God.
all jokes aside, tell us what's going on with Dirt Deacons.
Well, we just released a single not too long ago.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
I've listened
yeah.
to it a few times. It's great.
It's kind of going a little bit more gangbusters than we expected. So that's been great. But yeah, that's going on, and we've been talking to a lot of promoters and stuff. So that you know we're starting to play a lot more. Or the gigs are starting to get to be a little more
Higher profile,
choosy.
maybe.
Well,
So in other
yeah,
words, you're
well,
not having to
maybe,
play
yeah,
at the-
yeah.
Kinda.
Y'all aren't having to play the underage clubs anymore,
yeah.
like Blue Jean Alley or anything.
Right.
Yeah,
No.
well,
Okay.
what was it when we played in Yazoo City back in the day? It was oh God, I wish I could remember the name of that place. Oh God, it'll come to me. Anyway, yeah, there were some teeny bopper bars back in those days, you know.
Teeny bopper.
Yeah, I remember them days.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, but we were teeny boppers back in those days too. So, you know, yeah. So, yeah, it's been great. I mean, we've been having a good time, and just played Golden Moon a few weeks
Oh,
ago.
wow.
So, it you know, it's happening.
It's happening.
Yeah,
It's
that was a fun show.
Yeah,
That was a fun
exploding.
show.
yeah, good deal. It was a good deal.
So
Where's the Golden Moon?
It's in Philadelphia. It's right there
Yeah.
with Silver Star.
So where can people find your single? Is it on all streaming
Yeah,
platforms?
every streaming platform. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. We're on every single one of them. As a
Okay.
matter of
Apple
fact,
Music.
Are y'all on Pornhub?
there are some yeah,
Kevin, I told you not to tell anybody about that.
Well, hey man, any
that is the most that we performed the most, the best.
I thought maybe they were
performance.
using y'all's music maybe behind the,
Yeah,
you know.
right. No, there have been like places that it's been streaming now that I had no idea that there was such a thing
That it existed,
yeah,
right.
I had no idea. So yeah,
Well,
it's everywhere.
And some of
Everywhere.
that
Good.
we could probably chalk up to the radio show over in the UK that featured it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, there Radio UK, Radio Rock UK, Rock Radio UK. I can't remember what, but it was the Drunken Duck was the name of the actual radio show that featured us there, and that helped us out a good bit.
The
A good
Drunken
bit.
Duck.
Yeah, the Drunken
Yep.
Duck.
Yeah, that's an
Yeah.
interesting name.
Yeah, yeah. So that helped us out a good bit and got us a good little boost, and
That's
it's been going
awesome.
on ever
Great.
since. So,
All right, I got to ask this: the name Dirt Deacons,
yeah.
where did it come from?
Well, you know, there's this. I mean, and Kevin, you know, and Brad knows. All of us been in bands before. Know there's this point when you're in a band where you just toss out band names that are the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen in your life or
Free
heard
beer.
of. Yeah. At some point, somebody doesn't laugh. And it's like, okay, that's
it.
a possibility
Yeah.
right there. Okay. And then and at some point, then, you know, nobody laughs. And it's like, okay, well, we may consider that one. So that's what happened with Dirt Deacons. It actually happened. I was in my sitting under my front porch one afternoon, and we were going back and forth on a text, and it was, and it was, I can't remember some of the stupidest shit that I came up with, so and so and the this or that, and I came up with the Dirt Deacons, and suddenly everybody was like, nobody came back and said, screw you.
Right.
That's funny.
But there's no meaning to it or anything.
No, not really. I mean, Don is bright. Our drummer's wife and a few others have said, well, you're into landscaping, which is what I do, on the side. I do landscape work. And it's like, so it's got something to do with the dirt. And you do
That's
the
what I
dirt.
was thinking myself. Yeah.
I didn't even put that together.
I'm like
And
Donis. Yeah.
so, and that's what folks have thought that meant, but not really. I mean, honestly, when it comes down to it, I think with the Dirt Deacons, we're from Mississippi, right? Mm-hmm. So, we're from Mississippi, and there's something about what's in the dirt, what's in the soil, what's in the water. I mean, it's all about the music, and it comes out through those things, and that's what it meant to me. That's what it meant to me.
And I think another thing too, if you think about it, kind of the way our format is and our set list, we kind of have that dirty, gritty,
Yes,
kind of soulful Southern type of rock sound, and I think that kind of puts it all in a nice little package there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we do a lot of soul stuff. We do a lot of R&B feel to stuff we do, but we always put a little bit of a rock tinge to most of it. So, yeah, I think so.
Is that why you don't wear shoes when you're playing?
Here we go.
All right.
Hey,
And
I gotta bring it up.
Yeah.
Gotta bring it up.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, man. When we first started playing, I took the shoes off, and I don't like wearing shoes anyway. I'm gonna just from the get go. I don't like wearing shoes. I'm a barefoot kind of guy. I'm a runner. I used to run, and I used to run barefoot. And there's a whole health thing there and all that. But beyond that, when I'm on stage, if I take my shoes off, it feels more free, and I can bounce, I can run, I can get up and go, and
you're connected to the stage.
Yeah. But let me tell you something. About connecting to the stage barefoot.
I was going to say, don't step on a
Well,
electrical line.
here's the thing. When you leave, all right, let's just right. That's my point.
It's like walking in a movie theater.
When you
barefoot.
leave Shuckers, all right,
it's like being in New Orleans barefoot.
Well, and they just recently actually fixed the stage at Shuckers. It's new carpet down and stuff.
Oh, nice.
You wouldn't know that if you didn't go barefoot all the time, but I do because Anyway, so. When you go home at night and the bottom of your feet are you've got your own like little
Grocery
padding
store feet.
there. Yeah.
Grocery
it's more
store
than
feet.
grocery store feet. It's like you've got a soul built into the bottom of your foot because you've been picking stuff up on the stage. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that happens at Shuckers. That happens everywhere, really. But Shuckers, man, Shuckers is that grime has been built in for years. For years.
Yeah,
Nice.
there's 30 or 40 years on that stage.
Oh, man, yeah, absolutely.
And folks, he's barefoot now. He's barefoot in the studio.
Yeah.
So now you're going to leave 30 or 40 years on my floor.
On his carpet.
Yeah, there you go. I don't go anywhere if I can't go barefoot.
I've gone barefoot more in the last couple of years when I found out more about grounding and the health benefits of being barefoot.
Yeah.
I go barefoot a lot now.
Yeah.
But I'm wearing shoes in the studio.
That's so you don't step on the last 30 or 40 years that he's leaving behind.
There
Right?
we go. Or trip over all those cables.
Yeah, your toes could get up in that stuff.
No doubt. Damn.
And you'll never get out of the cables.
Right.
Hey, Billy, I'm going to fix that. Don't worry, buddy.
So Brad, the newest member of Dirt Deacons. Yay! So tell us, how's that going?
I mean, really, for me, it's going. You'd have to ask him, but for me, it's going great. I mean,
you ain't got kicked out yet, huh?
I hadn't got kicked out yet. I hadn't been fired.
I got news for you, brother.
No, after the show,
right? They're going to drop the axe after the show. No, but I mean, when they asked me to fill in the first time, I basically was sitting in my recliner watching the SEC championship game, and my phone starts going off. And I was looking at it, and I'd already been talking to Brad earlier in the week about doing it in case
the other Brad, y'all might need to clarify.
Yeah.
And so anyway, long story short, it ended up I was doing the fill in anyway, and I just Maggie was sitting on the couch, I was sitting in my recliner. I said, "Well, so I'm playing Black Axes tonight." I said, "They're just gonna get what they get."
Oh my goodness, that's short notice.
I went in and
short notice.
I showered and got cleaned up and dressed and got over to Black Axes in about probably an hour and 20 minutes and played the show. And to be honest with you, it was, I don't know if y'all felt this way, but I felt like, I mean, it's like I've been playing with these guys forever.
Yeah.
And the chemistry was good.
Good.
We had a lot of good energy. And
yeah, well, I'll tell you this, just from having, all the shows we had done before and going up to it, what Brad Caraway, since we have two Brads in the band,
you have to call him by the last name, Caraway.
Slick is what we call Caraway now. Slick.
Slick. Okay.
So, what he brings to,
I didn't pick it.
Actually, Bryce picked it.
That's right.
Yeah. So I have no idea why, but
you didn't see that coming, did you?
Did you have an idea on why Bryce decided to call you Slick? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
He hasn't offered any explanation.
We're gonna have to say, Bryce, so. You're gonna have to let everybody know why you picked Slick for Caraway's nickname. But what was I saying? Okay. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right. No, but the one thing that Brad has added to the mix that we didn't have with the Dirt Deacons that I think that fits us so well is a really good, thick, multi-level background vocals.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, with the type of music we do, and we've actually added some songs here recently for some of the stuff we did at Golden Moon and some of the other stuff that that they really fits really well, and it's as a lead vocalist, it feels really good to hear those background vocals coming in behind you, and it's like, oh shit, that's awesome,
Right.
Yeah,
it's really feels good.
Well, the cool thing is I mean, Bryce is so talented.
He's so talented.
Well, the thing is when I first got there, Bryce and I were walking on each other on the backing vocals because we were singing in the same range. But Bryce has the talent and the ability to go up about a fifth from what I'm doing. So now we can, it's actually comfortable.
Oh, and it fills in everything. I see what you're saying. Yeah. And Shambliss doesn't sing. Does he sing?
Brad?
Yeah, the other Brad.
The other Brad?
He goes, ha! Every now and then.
He does gang vocals.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He's relegated to gang vocals.
I'm going to highway to hell.
I swear, I was just fixing to say he does the backing vocals to AC/DC.
Yeah. Chambly, don't seriously, dude. I mean, I don't really mean, I do kind of mean it, but.
Does he have a microphone to order drinks?
Yeah.
That's it. Right. I need another shot. That's him. That's it. Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, Keith, who do you think trained Brad? This Brad.
Well,
you're welcome, buddy.
Look, I will give them credit, but it wasn't you so much as it was Jesse Mack. Because Jesse Mack was the one that was going to stick his foot in my ass if I didn't get in there and start trying to contribute.
And I've watched some of these shows, and I don't know if this has come up before, but let me just say this. If you go back far enough, as some of us do, Jesse Mack I mean, somebody's got to shout out to that dude, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
God, dude. I mean, the vocal. I mean, I can remember seeing him in so many different venues, this little clubs. I mean, Shake on the Lake. You
Mhm.
know, he's wailing, dude. Wailing, just hits every note. I mean, Jesse Mack's
He was
awesome.
one of the best. I mean, there's no denying it.
Absolutely one of the best. One of the best. What Cyrus, the whole, yeah.
I'll tell you what, he would like Brad says,
Loved him.
he would push
Loved
you.
him.
He would push you to be the best that you could
Oh, he was so
be,
awesome.
if not more than that. I
So
mean,
awesome.
And
you wouldn't believe the times he would look at me like when after I'd done a solo, and he'd look at me like, "What the fuck was that?"
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Jesse Mack awesome. Awesome stuff, man. I saw him in a lot of venues. We were talking, Kevin, we were talking earlier about the whole Battle of the Bands and all of that stuff, that era of music when we were all coming up, man.
How old were you
There was
at the
no
Armory
doubt
at that time?
he was the best.
How old were you? About 18?
I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was around 25-ish,
Yeah.
somewhere in that ballpark. So even to me, y'all were young. you know.
Yeah. Oh, look, man, and you go back, I grew up, the whole Southern Baptist, but I grew up growing up in the choir kind of thing.
Yeah.
My grandfather was the minister of music for 27 years at the church that I grew up in.
Cool.
So, and he hummed and he sang and he whistled all the time, harmonies and all this stuff. So I heard all of that growing up, and that's what, that it kind of embedded itself in me, I think. But
Do you play any instruments?
no, I never have. And the reason is, I picked up guitar a couple of times and I tinkered around with that, but I always felt like the guys that I was lucky enough to play with, I was lucky enough to be so far above. There was no way I would ever catch up with them. No
That's
way.
understandable.
No
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
I would ever catch up with them. So, what I did was focus on what I could do, what I understood, which was vocals. And, I got better and better and better at that. So, but I sucked so bad, man. When you stop and you go back to like that Battle of the Bands, we won that Battle of the Bands.
Right.
We won the Battle of Bands that night, and it was like we won a Grammy.
What band was it?
You
What
know,
band?
That was
your
Licks
band?
Array.
Okay.
Licks Array was the name of the band, and it was what, 6 bands in that crowd that night. Kevin, is that right?
I'm not sure, but that sounds
Yeah,
right.
I think it was like 6.
The only
grand.
ones I remember are you or y'all's band, Licks Array, and Cyrus. That's the only ones I actually remember.
Charade was in that.
Was Charade in it?
Yeah,
I
Charade.
can't believe I don't
played.
remember that.
Well, because I pissed Chris Painter off that night. I
Uh-oh.
did. Yeah, I said something stupid because I was a kid. I was like, I can't believe we came up here and we kicked y'all's ass or something.
Oh, wow.
Oh damn.
So,
Are y'all friends now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're great now. It took a few years because I don't think he understood what I meant by that, which was, I'm sorry. I'm so fucking, I'm dumbass. I'm a redneck. I don't have any clue. I just feel like I won the, Grammy or something. So anyway, we won that night. And the funny thing, oh God, I'm fixing to say this. Okay. Yeah. This
Be humble.
this was a rock against drugs thing. That was the thing that was going on back in those
And everybody
days.
there was fucked up.
Oh, everybody
yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah.
We weren't all fucked up, but we were close to it. I mean, we were trying to be that way. We were trying to be So, anyway, yeah, we did an interview prior to the whole Battle of the Bands thing that night. And I can remember me and Daryl D were sitting next to each other. He was representing Charade, and I was there as Licks Array or whatever, and WAPT was there. We did the whole panel where everybody answered a few questions, and I was just like sitting there like, I was 18 years old with my thumb up my nose and then going, whatever. And so, yeah, but it was a rock against drugs thing. But that's what they did back in those days.
Yeah.
Right.
To make it,
Yep.
give it some hype or whatever.
So that was the late 80s, right?
Yeah, that was this was a 1989, I think.
Was it 89? I was thinking 88, but that's probably right.
Yeah, 88, 89, something like that.
Yeah,
So,
that's too far for me to
I mean, I
remember.
was so wet behind the damn ears
Too
back
many
in those
years,
Hell,
days.
too
I
many
can't remember
brain cells.
yesterday.
I mean, I had, just not 2 years prior to that, graduated from high school, didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
None. I went to Benton Academy. So, I mean, didn't have a clue. None.
How many students were in Benton Academy?
I had the largest graduating class of Benton Academy in 1988 with 32 students.
wow.
32. Wow.
See, I went to an academy myself, and my class had 56.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Yeah. Big time. Big time. You were big time.
Mine was a public school one, but like 78.
Wow.
Damn, what public school was that?
Madison Ridgeland
Oh.
Really?
Braves.
Wow.
There were over 300 in my graduating class.
Undoubtedly, that was before a lot of people.
So where
had
did you go to school?
Yeah.
Warren
no,
Central
it was-
High School.
Oh,
in
yeah,
Vicksburg.
Warren Central. Yeah. Yeah, my cousins all went to Warren Central.
Yeah.
So.
Tell us about how y'all came up with the song.
Well, well, it's one of those joint writing projects. It just things fall together.
Well, let me
but-
guess. You wrote the music, and
did.
Brad wrote the words.
Well, exactly the opposite, of course. Right. No, yeah. I mean, the way this has worked before, Brad and Bryce and I have written several songs before in the past. And it's we've got a few different songs that are in the queue that we're gonna hopefully kind of tinker around with in the near future. But
Good.
this one was a little bit different in that Brad wrote a lot of the music, and we played around with it in rehearsals, and we went into the studio kind of cold with it.
Yeah.
Whereas before, we've gone into the studio with songs where we were ready. It's like, okay, this is the structure of the song.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're going to do here. This is what we're going to do here. I mean, we had it all set out. This worked out, I think, a whole lot better because we weren't married to anything.
Right.
And Brad was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And Bryce came in, and there was one section of the song. Bryce came in, and if you listen to the bridge part of the song, there's this off time thing that happens in the midst of that song that is not normal, and
it's meant to be there.
It's meant to be there. It's something, but that Bryce wrote into the song, and it's like an off time, almost like a Led Zeppelin kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just a little off time thing, and it works so well. And of course, Mike Yates, who did the production stuff with us, he had a ton of suggestions. He and Brad got in the studio, and I think at some point Brad thought that Mike was like a slave driver. It's like, okay, please let me stop playing now, But
As an engineer, that's what you got to do.
yeah, and it worked, man. It worked so well. And I think honestly, we've recorded probably I don't know how many songs we've recorded over the years, but in terms of what we went into the studio with and what came out of it in the process, I think this is probably the best song we've ever written together. Bryce and Brad and I, and it was awesome. And then what we've got coming up, obviously, we're going back in the studio in August. Brad, the new Brad will be
The other
with us.
Brad.
The other
Let's call it
Brad.
B1 and
Slick.
B2.
Yeah,
Slick.
Other
Okay,
Slick will be with us.
Slick.
So, and he's been writing some bass lines on some stuff, and
That's
I mean,
awesome.
we're looking at doing. I'm not gonna spill all the beans just yet, but we're looking at actually covering a song that we've played over the years, going back 20 I don't want to age myself here, but you know, 30,
Well, I mean,
I think we already have.
we
it.
already have.
You don't think the gray hair would give it away?
30 years we've been playing some of this song, like to the point where some folks thought that we wrote it. We played it so much.
Oh,
So,
wow.
it's somewhat obscure, but fits us so well, and
It
I'm
really
really
does.
excited to get in the studio and record that.
I'm excited to hear it. Yeah.
So and then we've got a song that Brad and Bryce and I wrote called "Smothered." That's going to be one that we focus on this next session.
You say Smothered?
Smothered is the name of the song. Yeah. So and then we'll actually going to revisit some old Billy Stick songs that we wrote back in the day that came out in an EP 91, 92 that we're talking about revisiting some of those too. So
Like maybe refurbishing them some.
yeah. I mean,
Refurbish.
well, there's a few, if you go to the song, the cover song that we're talking about playing. All right. So, Gord Downey, who wrote that song, who wrote the lyrics to that song, he kind of changed back in the early 90s, he kind of changed my mentality about how you write, how you sing. I mean, it was a major changing effort because, I mean, Kevin, Brad, y'all know back in those days, there was a major shift from
Brad's old too.
Right.
right. There you go. So the late 80s to the early 90s was a major shift in music from
Right.
When Nirvana came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
I
I
mean,
hated Nirvana.
I did too. I
was like, oh,
couldn't
no.
stand
I
them.
mean, let me
I'm
tell
like,
you.
it's over.
Yeah, let me tell you something, man. I loved them. I loved them. I loved the whole shift of things because
I
was
didn't like it
never.
at all.
I mean, really.
I was kicking and
All the
screaming.
happy shit was gone.
I was gonna say all the good happy
Now
party
everybody's
hair metal,
depressed.
Van Halen.
Look. Hey, everybody likes to
now
have
we're all
their.
going to commit suicide.
I loved it, but there was a serious shift at that point that things got to be from being so happy to being
So gloom.
right, yeah, to being just serious. Take this serious. So that's what I thought about that whole shift, and personally, that's what I thought about the whole shift. Now,
The only thing I liked out of Seattle was Alice in Chains.
I love
my
Alice in
God.
Chains.
Hey.
Oh my gosh.
No, I mean, we still close out our show with "Man in the Box."
Oh hell
Yeah.
yeah. That's still
Every
probably
show.
my favorite song.
Every show we close out with "Man
I
in the
love
Box,"
playing that.
but Wood is good.
Yes.
I
Yep.
love playing Wood.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I love playing with my wood. I mean playing wood.
Oh, see,
Is that going to be an edit, Kevin?
I was
No, it won't
Probably
that was
not.
a serious
Will
point I
not
was
be
making
edited.
there, and that's going to get edited out now because Kevin had to talk about his wood.
My WOULD. My wold.
Oh, I'm not a
sound
golfing
empty.
professional.
Slurp it, Billy.
Well, I'm not a golfing professional. I'm a golfing pro. Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying my best to follow that shit from last week. Are you kidding me? My
Man,
God.
you can have your own show here and we'll allow it. But you can't follow up Billy.
No, there's no way. There's no way. Yeah.
Not to be like Billy. You can't.
Right.
You just can't beat that. He's
I-
all on his own.
After watching the episode, y'all are probably been racking your brain. How can we top that?
I almost bought some props. I actually did. I was going to bring a hat so I could put my sunglasses on the back of them, but I thought nobody would ever see that shit. So,
Hey, give us a bird finger for the camera.
yeah.
There we go.
All right, I'll zoom in on that. This is for you, Billy.
I mean every bit of it, motherfucker.
Billy has set the bar.
I've actually got another Billy story. We were, Bryce, where we rehearse in at Bryce's house. for obvious reason, because Bryce can't get around as much as well, and because
Well, not
he's
to mention he's got a lot more to load.
well, yeah, right.
Right.
He's a drummer, so
Right.
all this shit. You
You
know,
notice that's why I have a set of drums next to you.
well, so anyway, Billy is the golf pro at Deerfield, which is
Not to be confused.
with a professional golfer.
golfer.
He
Gotta
is
make sure you know that.
Definitely not one of those.
Make the distinction, damn it.
Right. Yeah.
He's a foot witcher.
So you've got to pass right by Bryce's house to get to Deerfield Country Club. So, and our trailer, when it's sitting out front, will almost inevitably have an emergency 9 sticker stuck on the side of it when we come back out. It's like, so there's another one.
Right.
All right.
I had no idea what emergency 9 meant until he told us.
You
the
know,
story.
I had no idea either. I watched that, and
And that
that's
makes
a-
sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yep.
Play an emergency 9.
Yep.
Yeah.
I loved it, man. Talking about the older drummer. I know who he's talking about. And that guy,
Les Beasley, Beasley.
man, if you think Billy's a hoot, Les is, man.
That 70-year-old motherfucker.
So, all right. So,
you know
all
why?
right,
Because he
you
takes
guys
Billy
gotta
to
help me.
task.
So, this 70-year-old drummer, he's 70 now, or he was 70 when
He's probably 70 then.
it was 70 then. Yeah.
So he's got to be. That was a long time ago, wasn't it? I can't do the math.
At
but
least a few years.
I mean, it's
Gee.
20
at least 20 years.
Yeah, no,
He's a hell of a
No.
good timekeeper, and he's a hell of a good
No, it
drinking
wasn't
buddy.
Okay.
no, 3 or 4 years.
3
I
or
would
4
think.
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
Emergency 9's been around.
Couple
What?
of years.
Oh, okay.
Couple years.
Okay.
Really?
No,
Yeah,
it's been
okay.
at least 3 because
Yeah,
they were
at
going when we had Crow going good.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Let her rip, Tater Chip. All right.
Russ is going to hate that he missed all of
I was
this.
gonna say.
Yeah.
Russ is probably jacking off when he sees this.
Yeah. I was actually a little bit disappointed that Russ wasn't here because I had my fart jokes like lined up and stuff.
I mean, you can still say a good fart joke. It's okay.
You can cut down. You can cut Russ down if you want to. We don't care. It won't be edited.
Oh, yeah, it won't be edited.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, motherfucker. All right. I'm gonna think on that. for
Damn.
some of it. We'll
Russ,
come back
most
to
everybody
it.
likes you.
What the hell is wrong
Most
with
everybody.
Most everybody. I just remember. I remember we played I think it was a benefit for Matt Roberson at BB's. A few years. Was it Matt?
Mm-hmm.
Was that right?
They did one for Matt.
Yeah. And I may have drank a lot of Andy Gators that day.
Maybe.
But you're not sure,
It's a
right?
possibility.
No, and I also
If you're not sure, you did.
and I also wore shorts on stage, and I saw pictures afterwards, and I've never worn shorts on stage since. But
I bet you didn't have shoes on either.
there
did
was
you?
definitely didn't have shoes on. But there was a picture, few pictures from that that show that Russ was there, and he had like a army helmet on or some shit, and he had that shirt on that says leg day, but it was a picture of a chicken leg across his yeah, and from that point on I was like, I'm scared of that fucking dude. That dude is not right. So I was a little nervous about him, I'm kind of glad he's not here tonight. I was
Make you a little uncomfortable.
yeah, just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. So no,
Y'all know Clayton Pell, right?
No, I've never
Who
met the
hell
guy.
doesn't
Hey, you know
know
what?
Clayton?
He's
Never met
been
him.
in every episode without being in
Without
any
being
separate-
here.
Right.
So we have to mention Clayton.
Oh,
Has he ever jammed with y'all?
Yes, he has
Oh,
actually.
my gosh.
Yeah, we there was one show, when we lost our bass player, and before we gained our new bass player, who was sitting over here,
And he's trained well. I gave him some doggy biscuits.
Yeah, so that we had a few bass players sit in with us because Brad was still doing his stuff with
Alter ego.
Alter Ego. Thank you, and so
That was his alter ego.
it was his alter ego, and so we had Clayton sat in with us one night at Shuckers. I think
No, it was Black Axis.
Black Axis. That's right. We had Mike Yates, who ended up doing production on our stuff that we did in the studio. He sat in with us a couple of gigs. So yeah, we know who the hell doesn't know Clayton Powell?
That's what
Right.
All
I
right,
think.
but here's the big thing. I'm sorry, Kathy.
No,
go
I was
ahead.
just going to say, I think it was Kevin that asked, is there a song he doesn't know? I mean, was he able to just to play? I mean, just
I think it was kind of shit. It's weird because I'm the singer, and I can't. I just kind of go over the top of whatever everybody else throws
I
out
gotcha.
there. It's like,
yeah.
I don't give a
Well, you know what?
shit.
Clay-
It's like, oh,
Clayton even jammed with Crow before Slick
really,
there,
really,
Mr. B2.
no shit. Oh, go.
Yeah, he jammed with us a few times when we were looking for a bass player, and he knew everything except the Rush material,
Yeah.
and he didn't want to learn the Rush material.
Why? I wonder why.
Why?
Yeah.
I can't figure out why. I mean, it's not like it's hard or anything.
Right. I mean, it's not technical at all.
No, I mean you can do it with 2 fingers.
Absolutely.
No, but Clayton, yeah. Do you want to speak to Clayton? He's a great bass player. Great
Oh,
bass player.
All right, here's the next
And
question:
just
Have you
sets
ever
in, jumps in, and does whatever.
Yeah.
have you ever ridden in his hearse?
I have not actually, and that pisses me off just a little bit because.
Wow.
Oh wait, I've got a great Clayton Pell story.
Uh-oh, here we go, folks.
So, all right, we played Ameristar. It's been 2 years ago. We played Ameristar, and then as soon as we left Ameristar at the Bottleneck Blues Bar, my wife and I decided to go down to Madisonville, Metairie area in Louisiana. Friend of mine had a cabin down there, and we're going to stay for 3-4 days through the weekend. So we go down there, and they've got a buddy of theirs that what's the name of the damn major waterway that goes through around that? But oh shit, I can't remember. Anyway, we're going to join up with them and get on the boat. And if you get on the boat, this is South Louisiana, so there's a bar on every little waterway. It's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, come up, So we're making every turn, and it's awesome. And we pull up at this bar. It's packed. Band's playing. Sunday afternoon. On the swamp. It's so Louisiana. I mean, that's all. It's just the best.
Be careful, there
You're
may be
like-
some Louisianans watching
It's
this.
so awesome, so awesome. And as soon as we pull up, I see that fucking hearse. That fucking hearse. It Broham on the tag. And I'm like, oh my God, well, I can't escape this son of a bitch. What is it? Walk in, Clayton Pale is there. He's actually visiting with his brother, I think. Kimberly's with him. They're having like a little family reunion thing. And sure enough, he's there. I mean, I got
I
pictures
thought you were
with
going to
him.
tell me he was playing with the band.
No,
in there.
that's what I'm expecting to.
no.
That's where I thought that was going.
Because how many
he could
bands is
have.
Clayton
He
in?
certainly could have, but he was just down there in South Louisiana, and
That's cool.
yeah. So yeah, absolutely. It's just funny.
It's a small world.
Yeah. Well, very small, very small. You go back into the backwoods, into the swamp, and you're still running to fucking Clayton.
Yeah.
You can't escape him. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. But doesn't know how to match his shoes worth of shit.
No, that's for sure.
I don't guess at this point it matters anymore.
No.
And I find it very ironic that a man that walks around barefoot all the time is talking about somebody's shoes matching.
That is
At least you ain't got to
point.
match shoes.
Good point. That's right. I don't have to. That's right. Good point. But I don't have to match shoes. That's right. I just have to clip my toenails every now and then to make sure.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is if you go without shoes enough, you can just kind of drag them and let the pavement take care of them and
That's right.
wear them down for you. You just have to get you an emery board. And
I think you've
Finish
thought
them up.
about that shit way more. You've thought about that quite a bit, haven't you,
I
Caroline?
actually haven't. you see these pictures of these memes with these chicks with these toenails
Oh,
that
yes.
look like,
Oh.
and I'm like, I guess it's just the floor or whatever that's wearing those things down. They can only get to a certain length, and
It's kind of like a dog.
yeah, that's right. That's
All
right.
right. Well, how did we come back from that one?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
People are gonna watch this and go, "These motherfuckers talking about some random shit."
We do talk about random shit here.
Well, it's funny how everything goes round in circles. 'Cause
Right.
B2, Slick, Brad Caraway, was in Crow
Yeah.
for what, 2 years ish?
No, it was almost 4 years.
What? Was it that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
From 2017.
Come on, Kevin, man. Where's
to
your
what,
head?
2021?
Well, it's between my legs, I guess. I'm not good at judging time. Obviously,
Me either.
Me either. Me either. And that's one of the things that when we were here tonight, we were talking about who was going to be here with us tonight, and then it's like I almost wanted Bryce to come because you talking about a son of a bitch that can remember dates and times.
I bet.
I mean, he remembers when I farted on so and so's leg back in 1980 something or another. When we were crossing the so and so, it's just crazy. He can remember all of that shit, and still, like, I mean, it's nuts.
I
Nuts.
envy that because I have no memory.
No,
Me
no,
neither.
I can't remember what I had for lunch.
Exactly.
I can't
I can't remember
remember.
what I had for lunch today.
Exactly.
y'all had lunch today?
My vocabulary stinks. I can't remember anything anymore.
What are we,
Hey,
what are we
let's have a
toasting
toast.
to?
Listen,
What are
We're
we
gonna toast.
toasting to?
Let's toast to the Deacons,
To the
the
Dirt
Deacons.
Deacons?
to
Yeah.
the Dirt Deacons.
the Dirty Deacons,
The dirty,
Dirty
yeah. Well, we can be if you want us to.
and STS.
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 Absolutely.
All right, there we go.
We don't condone alcohol. This is actually sweet tea in everybody's cup.
That's
I
correct.
love sweet tea. Sweet
I
tea
do too.
is
I
so
do too.
Water.
Table wine of the South.
sweet.
Can you sing a song a cappella all the way through?
No.
Okay, well, good.
I mean,
Oh, wait.
yeah, I can.
If you
but
get
why
the
would I?
key, yeah, I think you could.
Well, I mean, why would I? I mean, what are we singing? What
I
are
don't
we?
know. What
Just
you want to
any
sing?
song.
Do you want to sing something?
No, I do not.
What about if Brad plays a guitar for you?
Is Brad going to play guitar for me?
I'd probably be, my guitar playing would be just about as good as his acapella singing.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
What you do?
There you go.
Ba-dum, ba-dum.
Yeah, I tell you what. I look.
Ba-dum.
Just speaking of songs that just jump in your head and won't get out of the freaking blue today. I'm just a gigolo, and everywhere I go, people know the part I'm playing.
That's too much Pornhub, brother.
Well, it just came out of the blue today, and I
Do you
sang.
have to put on reading glasses to watch your phone with porn?
Well,
That's weird that David Lee
He may not have
Roth
seen
was in
that
your
part.
head.
I've sang.
Billy does.
I sang that whole song from start to finish before I even plugged it in and decided to listen to it. My son was in the vehicle with me today and was like, I don't know. He said something. It's like, I'm just a gigolo. And I started singing the song, sang the whole damn thing all the way through. And he's like, Papa, I've never heard that before. And my kids call me
Aw,
Papa. He's
that's-
like, Papa, I've never heard that before. What in the hell are you talking about? It's like, plug the speaker in,
Right.
dude. He played
Speaking
the
of
whole
singing
David Lee Roth song all the way through.
That's
just
awesome.
a gigolo.
Speaking of singing a cappella, did y'all seen the video going around of that girl, that country girl? I can't think of her name.
Ingrid something.
Ingrid, yes,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Have y'all seen that?
I haven't
haven't
seen
seen
it.
that.
I haven't seen it. I've seen all the hullabaloo
Oh my
hullabaloo
gosh.
about it, but I haven't
Oh
seen
my
it.
gosh.
Well, what's the deal with it?
Well, she apparently
it's
got
really
really
bad.
drunk as piss.
That's
and
what
decided-
Oh, is this
says.
the one that did the
Yeah.
anthem
The
thing?
anthem,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, all right. Now I get it now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've not seen it because I distrust anything that I see, even online anymore.
you're right.
I
No.
distrust
Yeah.
it.
It's hard to believe what you see anymore.
Yeah, and because it always comes with this narration behind it that, oh, this is what happened, and I distrust all that. And if I had about 20 years in the political world, before I got back into music.
I remember you being in the politics. But we're not going to talk about politics.
I ran some high profile political races.
Yeah.
Presidential and that kind of stuff. I mean,
I forgot about that.
So that shit, man.
You were involved with the McDaniel guy.
Yeah.
The guy that was in the
Chris and I are very good friends.
Yeah.
And I ran Ted Cruz's presidential race for Mississippi in 2016. That was the last one I did. And I did several before that, ran some other races. But
did you have long hair at that time?
No, I did not. As a matter of fact, it was in 2016 that I told Senator Ted Cruz called me and asked me if I would run his presidential race for Mississippi.
Ted Cruz called you.
We did. He called me and said, "Hey, we need you to. We want you to run the race. We want Chris McDaniel on board, obviously, who I was working with a good deal at that point." And he said, "Would you do it? Can you go with it? Blah blah blah." And there's a book called "Remember Mississippi," and I'm all throughout that book. That was
cool.
That was what came before the Ted Cruz campaign. Anyway, so. Yeah, that I was big into politics.
So you were talking about your hair, though. That's what started.
Oh yeah. The whole deal with the hair. In 2016, I told Senator Cruz, said, "Would you work with us? Can we do this?" Yeah.
Can you get him on the podcast?
That goes against your no politics.
Well, I'm fixing to change some stuff. Right?
Well, and so at that point, I started growing my hair out. It was March of that year. I went. Actually, it's like late January of that year. The primary was in March. I went to Salt Cay, which is in Turks and Caicos Islands. We flew down to Providenciales. Took a little puddle jumper over to Salt Cay, had a little house there that didn't even have air conditioning in it. And I got my diving certification for the next 2 weeks. And we dove with, it was awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I told him when I came back, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
My hair started growing out. My beard grew out. I said, don't call me anymore for politics.
How did you even get into that to begin with?
Done. Woo.
I mean, did you go to college for political science or something? Or?
No, I went, okay. So I was in,
you go from... You go from Lixaray to heading a presidential campaign.
All right. So, I do landscaping as my that's what I do.
That's what brings home the
That's
bacon.
what brings home the bacon.
That's
right. But I would think heading
as Billy told us, explained very well last week, you can't make no damn money playing music around here.
You're like $1.50.
Right.
It's not right. So,
except when Melissa took care of everybody.
Oh yeah.
She was the one.
Good recovery.
And I'll say this too. If you want to make money at it, you can. It's just that you've got to. You got
to do it every night of the week.
You got to do it every night of the week, and you've got to delve out.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't play this market forever because this market gets so muddied so quick. Mm-hmm. And anyway, so. Where was I?
Getting into political. How did you get into college?
How'd you go from Lixaray to?
All right. So I went. That is a long story.
That's a hell of a jump. You didn't even go through the minor leagues, did you?
No. Well, writing was something that was always important to me. And I went through a phase where we were writing music. And that kind of dove off into writing other stuff. So I started writing for people.
Okay.
I started writing. I actually worked for Congressman Greg Harper. And
I know Greg.
I wrote some stuff for Greg. And we were like 7 or 8 men down in that primary. And lo and behold, we screwed up and won it, So I actually went to work for Congress for a long time, and I was in I worked for him in Congress and worked with the FBI. I worked with State
Wow.
But wasn't the pay
State
really
Department.
good doing whatever you were doing there?
With
I mean, was the pay really, really good?
it was decent.
I mean, obviously it's more than $1.50, but
yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, it was okay. I mean, but you know, I didn't like the dealing with the political side of
Right.
stuff so much. So, I actually I was you know, I kind of a principled guy, so I dove off into a little more political stuff where I ran some campaigns, and then from that point, I met Chris McDaniel, and Chris was like, "I'm going to run for U.S. Senate, and I'm going to do this." I'm like, "You're a freaking what are you, an idiot? You know, you can't run against Thad Cochran. That dude's got buildings named after him. You know." And he's like, "Yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that." And so I started delving off into the policy and the politics of all of it. And I was like, he's exactly right. And I had met Senator Cochran at this point. I had met him, and I'm not going to say anything negative about him. But some of these guys are kept in Washington. They're kept. They are just ushered from one room to the next, told what to do, and they just do it. And you know, so
do you think that's the lobbyists that are doing that?
that's the that's not the lobbyists necessarily. It's the lobbyists controlling the people that work on staff for these congressmen. It's a rotating deal. You know, it's a revolving door. Anyway, I know we don't want to get into politics.
No, we don't want to get into politics.
Well,
So
we're not going both either, you know, right or left. We're
Right.
just kinda talking about
I
it.
don't want to go. I don't want to do that because it's anyway. So I worked for Chris for several years. Chris is a great guy. Love him to death. Family guy. Anyway, he introduced me to my best friend that I've ever known in my entire life, and that was Jack McDaniel, Billy Jack McDaniel.
Yeah, Billy Jack. Yeah, I read that book.
Yeah, and Billy Jack passed away in 2016.
That was a hell of a
2017. If you get a chance to read the book, read it.
Yeah, it is.
But he was my best friend for years, and
that's a hell of a story.
it's an incredible story, and from right here in Florence too.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
he was Rankin County to the core,
Right.
So Billy Jack was a great guy, and he became my best friend. So just one thing just led to another. You know, the way I got into politics was I was into landscaping. All right, so I started writing a landscaping article for my local newspaper. Well, my local newspaper in Florida, the lady who was running that decided to leave town. Well, her husband was the coach at the local Tri-County Academy. He was going to leave. She said, "Hey, do you want the newspaper?" It's like, "What do you mean? Do I want it?" Like, all right.
So you got her job.
Yeah. So you can have it. All right. So I did that. And I started writing. That's what got me involved in writing and politics and all of that. So I went from that to working for Congressman Harper. The next thing you know, I'm writing like stuff. I'm like dealing with the State Department and stuff. It's like, these people don't have a clue.
Right.
I mean, they don't know I'm a dumbass. How do they not know? How do they not know? So anyway, it's just crazy how that revolved, and eventually I got back into music again, and I've not looked back since that. I mean, the landscape stuff has been great. I love doing it. It's creative, all of that. But I called Brad Chambly in, I guess it was 2016. It was just after I finished the Ted Cruz campaign. And I told him, I had already told Senator Cruz, I said, "This is it for me. I'm done. Done after this. Win, lose, or draw, I'm done."
Right.
Started growing my hair out, my beard out. Don't call me. Don't screw with me. I'm done. I'm done. I got a few phone calls here and there, but I turned them away. But I called Brad Chambly and I said, "Hey, man, if we're going to do this, we're getting older. Let's do it.
Yeah, that sounds real familiar to me.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's either now or never, do or die. We still got it in us.
Yeah.
You know, let's go. As a matter of fact, I felt then, as I do now, that I'm a better vocalist now than I was ever before then.
Yep.
So if we're going to do it, let's do it. And he and Bryce and I got together. We kind of played around. We couldn't find a bass player. You know, played around with some folks. Didn't work out. Brad went his way. And he started jamming with some guys up in Kosciuszko. And I called him and I was like, hey, I see you jamming with these guys. You know, I was like hunting him down. I was like, dude, I told you I want to do it, you know. So we start jamming with those guys, and lo and behold, it comes back around. Bryce joins us back up with us, and that's how the Dirt Deacons got started.
That's awesome.
And that's where it all came
How
together.
How long had you been out of it before the Dirt Deacons?
You know, let's see, played around. You know, when we got out of Licks Array, we started Billy Stick. We played a good bit through the mid-90s. All right. And I say a good bit, but that's not nearly as much as we play now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we did, you know, 2021, we did damn near 60 shows that year. The Dirt Deacons did. I've never been in a band that played that much in a single year.
Yeah.
But between
you know,
Billy Stick and Dirt Deacons.
Yeah.
Now, there was nothing in between those two, right?
well, I played with some guys over in Vicksburg that was like this metalish kind of thing that Sean Mackey got me involved with.
Sean Mackey. Wow.
Yeah. He there's some guys over there and we recorded and everything. I couldn't even find that recording for you right now. But
What was the name of the band?
shit,
Do you
if
remember?
I know.
You don't remember?
I have no idea. I promise you I don't. But
What'd you have for lunch today?
No.
well, we had.
Was
I
it
mean,
that wasn't the Mud Beacons, was it?
there's a guy. This guitar player was from like Eastern Europe. I mean, he was like, you know, straight up immigrant.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
play the shit out of the guitar, but it was all heavy. You know, and it just wasn't me. The stuff we do now with the Dirt Deacons, if you listen to our first set, it is it's a lot of R&B, it's a lot of soulful stuff, and that's more me.
See,
That's
and
more
that's
me.
what I really gravitated towards.
Yeah,
Is that part of it. I mean, the more classic rock stuff that we do in the later sets is stuff that I came up and cut my teeth on, but a lot of the stuff that we do in the first set is almost album rock type stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's all the stuff that I grew up listening to, and I'd always heard those bass lines, but I'd never had a chance to really articulate that. And when I got to play with y'all, that's
Yeah, like
That's
when
awesome.
we do like play that funky music. When we play that song comes up in our set, it rolls every crowd, every
yeah.
Every- yeah.
single time. it
Crowds love that
rolls
song.
every
every
crowd.
time.
And it's I think it's because we're good at it. I mean, you know,
That's the one song, you know, I mean, Crow's the same way.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, as soon as you bump,
Right.
as soon as you do
Right.
that,
Yeah.
it's like,
yeah.
the crowd's like, rah,
Yeah.
right there in front of you. You know, it's
Yeah.
guaranteed. And
Well-
everybody in the band's like, oh, fuck.
God, here
But
we
I'm
go.
like totally opposite. I'm like, but we're fixing to have a crowd.
That's
That's
right.
right.
Yeah.
We're fixing to have a
The
crowd
crowd
dancing
Well,
in front of us.
if you
Yeah.
look at watch our EPK, and it was from 2021, so it was before Caraway was involved, and so you know, but if you look at our EPK, there's a portion of that EPK where it cuts aside, and talking about us at that point, we just step on the gas. That's what we do. I mean, we're a band that does soul in a rock fashion where we just step on the gas and put it right up in your damn face And if you don't react to that, then you ain't got no
Right.
damn soul, man. I'm sorry.
Must be a white person.
Right. Yeah. I'm sorry. Oh.
But yeah, that was, like I said, I that was one of the things when I used to catch y'all shows before I was invited into the band. I would always make sure to either see E9 or Dirt Deacons.
Mm-hmm.
Those were my two favorites that I would go see. Of course, at the time I was hot and heavy with Kevin and Crow.
Right.
Yeah,
We
me
were-
and Brad have I'm sure a lot of you know, and a lot of you probably don't know, but
We have a past.
me and Brad have a past. And,
We have a
you know,
past.
I have not seen E9 yet, so I want to see them.
I cannot believe you have not
I
seen
know
it.
as
Oh,
many
yeah.
bands as I go and see, I've not seen them.
That's a treat. You're missing it.
Well, now after having Billy on last week,
Well, now look, if you think Billy's
just
an idiot,
think
wait till
because-
you meet Yancey. Hey, he's
And
a
just
great
because-
Yancey is a
blast.
character.
Just because Billy puts on a tie doesn't mean he's all formal
Right.
or anything. Yeah.
I assure you.
Oh, right.
And if you like,
Well, I mean, he's a golf pro.
Right. Not a professional golfer, though.
Right.
he's
We love you, Billy.
Billy's really good at freemestyling on lyrics
Yeah.
too.
Man, I'll tell you,
I'm
that son of a
learning
bitch,
that.
that son of a bitch lost. He has missed his calling. I mean, as good as a musician and singer as he is, that son of a bitch needs to be doing some stand up.
Mm,
The rest of us will continue to play music.
right. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess the next obvious question is, around here, where do you do stand up?
Well, he obviously
You're
does
right.
it on the music stage.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Right. I
right.
mean, because
changing the
there's
lyrics
not
a
a whole
little bit.
lot of places to even do music,
Right.
but
We used to have a couple of comedy clubs around back.
Yeah.
I don't know, a long time ago, really. But
We did.
there's a few.
I don't know if we do now, but
No,
I don't think so.
there's not. What was the place that was out at
it was out of
the lighthouse? What it used to be the lighthouse?
Was that across from the dock, where the dock used to be?
no?
down-
That was Main Harbor.
Or no, I mean across the street.
across the bay,
Yeah.
across
Oh.
the dock from it. Actually, it was
Yeah.
across
Okay.
from
Yeah, it was.
where Pelican Cove is now,
Yeah,
in that area.
the lighthouse is directly across the street from Cock and Walk.
And it was
Yeah.
a comedy club,
Yeah.
or they
Was
had
it?
a comedy night, or
I think they had a.
I mean, it's a
comedy club in there
venue.
at
It's a
one-
venue
Gotcha.
now,
at
and it's
one
been a
point,
venue
yeah.
for a long time.
I was
but-
going to say it's just a rental venue.
yeah, yeah,
Weddings,
weddings,
bar
and-
mitzvahs.
yeah.
You know.
So, Brad, tell us about your bass influences.
My bass influences.
yeah, we've asked about guitar players. How about bass players or bass?
Give me your top 5 bass players.
That's easy. It's going to be Geddy Lee, John Entwistle, John Paul Jones, Chris Squire, and James Jamerson.
Okay, well, give me your next 5.
That was
it.
that sounded
it.
practiced.
That's it.
Come on, man!
You mean there's
How
no
many-
more than that?
You got some
Not
more?
really. Not really.
Wait, name them again. Name them again. I want to hear
Geddy
'em.
Lee,
Yeah.
John Paul Jones.
Is this in
Yeah.
order?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
No?
No. Okay. No.
Well, Geddy is. Geddy's
Geddy's
the first,
number one.
Geddy's
Number
my
one.
main influence.
All right.
But
John Paul.
John Entwistle, John Paul Jones.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Under pressure. No,
No, it was that whole thing. It was that whole thing we were talking about forgetting shit mid sentence.
Exactly. What'd you have for lunch today?
Yeah.
Come on.
Did I eat lunch
Squire.
today? I don't know. Yeah, Chris Squire and
I can't remember the fifth one.
James Jamerson.
All right. So
James Jamerson.
All right.
is
So
Take control of
let's-
this
right there with
podcast,
Geddy.
Keith.
I'm about to, Kev. Thank you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I've not had a
Hit
chance to interview my bass
Hit
player
me.
since this all happened really fast. So, all right. So give me your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and why.
Geddy Lee, because when I really started cultivating my musical taste back when I was an early teenager, adolescent, early teenager.
Yeah.
Somebody turned me on to 2112. And
That would be 2-1-1-2.
correct. And so that, that carried me. And then I started buying more Rush albums, and then Permanent Waves came out.
Yeah.
That's when
And
I lost interest.
that's when you lost interest.
Yeah.
But anyway, then after that, they had that whole roll in the 80s with all the albums, Exit Stage Left,
Oh,
Moving
yeah.
Pictures.
Yeah.
And
Shit,
so,
I came back on Moving Pictures.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the main reasons is his bass lines are just always really, I love how melodic he is.
Very melodic.
And
very melodic.
that
And as a singer, that I understand that.
Right.
That melody, yeah, absolutely. That's everything to me.
and, as far as John Paul Jones goes, I mean, dude, it's Zeppelin. What
Yeah.
what can I tell you?
He's a
Plus the
great
fact-
bass player.
Yeah, you can't leave
was-
Zeppelin
No,
out of anything.
Yeah.
no.
And of course, James Jamerson was basically Motown's bass player for a decade, and most of his stuff is just as iconic as any of the other guys. And of course, Chris Squire, he and Getty both were influences on me buying that Rickenbacker. And
All right, I got another question
what's that?
for Brad.
What's that?
Who's your favorite local guitar player?
I love
Boy,
them all.
He did not set your ass up then, did he?
I love them all.
Hey, motherfucker, you better be careful.
No, I
I'm
definitely.
teasing.
Oh, I had a blast playing with Kevin. Kevin, the one thing that I've always said about Kevin
Don't tell
is
everybody.
that honestly,
He sucked
Kevin-
good dick.
of
I'm
all
sorry.
the
What, did I say that out?
I've never sucked a dick in my life.
of all the guitar
But you hold it
players-
in your mouth for a
Now, if
little
it
while,
was
right?
mine, it might be a different story.
Are we talking about spinal surgery now? Or?
Yeah, I couldn't reach it. So.
Yeah, I don't think he was sucking dick, but he'd hold it in his mouth for a little while.
Till the swelling went down.
All right, yeah.
Go ahead, Brad.
Where were we
we
going with
rudely
that? I'm
interrupted
sorry.
you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that took on a completely different.
Way to go,
Back
Keith.
for-
I'm
but-
just here I'm aiming to please.
You're
man.
here,
No,
you're here to entertain.
Kevin is really good, and Kevin is really technical. But the thing that I am most impressed about Kevin is
He's a nice guy.
all the guitar players around here that I've played with and heard. Kevin does the absolute best job of capturing the tones of the guitar players, the lead guitar players of the songs that they're playing.
Cool.
He does. I mean, it's it's perfect. It's great, and it makes it a lot easier because it feels more like the natural flow of the song.
Right.
Yeah.
When it's
Now, that's
like
weird
that.
because I don't change any settings.
He doesn't
I
touch
got
one
3
button.
or 4 settings, and that's it.
All I can tell you is that's the truth.
I just thought of something when you speak into the memory. You talked about Bryce's memory a while ago.
Yeah.
I came to see y'all. I don't know where I was that I saw y'all, but I met Bryce one time. And then I went into Shuckers. I don't know what. There was some band playing, and Donis and Bryce were sitting at the table, and Donna saw me, and she said, "Oh my goodness, come sit with us, come sit with us." And she said, "Do you remember Catherine?" And he was like, "Yes." And they just came and just welcomed me, and I met them one time, and they remembered me, and I thought that I'm a fangirl, and so I was fangirling. Sitting with it. It was Traveling Jane. We went to see Traveling Jane
Yeah.
at
Shuckers?
At Shuckers.
Well,
Yeah.
y'all were
He was-
outside.
Bryce
then.
was playing with them.
No, he was
No.
sitting at a table.
Yeah, he plays with it. He plays with them every
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I was real
Yeah.
impressed with that. And
Well, I'll just tell you something about Bryce. I'll tell you a lot about Bryce, actually. Bryce and I have played together. I have never played with another drummer as long as I have with Bryce Upshaw. That guy is my brother. I mean, when I say he's my brother, he is my brother. His dad was like a dad to me.
that's awesome.
We grew up together. And growing up in Yazoo City back in the day, it was a small enough town where when you saw somebody, you remembered them. All right. So when you saw some kid walking with his mom and he's got these Coke bottle glasses on and walking down the middle of Gibson's, right down the aisleway, you're going to remember that shit,
Right.
So, we played Little League ball against each other. His dad was his coach. His dad ended up being our band manager first off when we were teenagers and stuff. So, I hung out with them. I actually lived with them for a little while.
Oh, wow.
There's, even back in those days, people were saying there's no better drummer in the state of Mississippi than Bryce O'Shaw.
Bryce is badass.
He is
Yes,
a
he
great
is.
drummer.
But the thing about him back in those days that made him great as a rock drummer, today he's added so much more to that repertoire.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great jazz drummer. I mean, he knows how to soften things up when it calls for it, pick them up. If there is any one person behind any of what the Dirt Deacons do, behind anything what we do, that controls any of that, it's Bryce. And it's because he controls the rise and
Right.
the fall of every song. It's when things get when it's time for things to pick up, he's right there. When it's time for things to tamp down just a little bit, he's right there. Bryce, he's probably the best musician. I think there probably would be a lot of people that would tell you this. He's probably one of the best musicians in the state of Mississippi in the past 25, 30 years that you will ever meet.
And he's good people and just a great soul.
Absolutely.
Oh, my gosh.
Just-
I
He's
was
a
going
great
to
soul.
say, as good a musician as he is, what I like the most about him is he is a good guy.
He
Yeah,
is a
he
good
is.
person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Solid gold.
Shout out to you, Bryce.
That's right.
You rock, brother.
You all right, man. I don't know.
You all right. You'll do in a pinch.
Yeah, you're doing it.
If you could just see Bryce play,
You don't suck that bad.
All right, now what about your old other Brad number one?
Brad number
Gotta say
one.
something about
we
Brad.
got to say something about Chambly,
Mr. Chambly.
motherfucker.
Asshole.
Where the fuck are you? dude?
That asshole. No.
What? I like him.
I mean, he's an
Nobody's
asshole.
talking to you.
Yeah, but he's an asshole. I'm gonna tell you.
Dickhead.
I mean, he'll be the first to tell you he's an asshole.
It'd be first. Yeah, okay.
No, Brad. Look, shit. I mean, when it comes down to it, if we go back, way back, I mean, we all started together as kids.
Yeah.
That's what's so wonderful about all of this. It's like we all started together as kids, so we've almost got this built-in honesty where Bryce can tell me, you know what, Keith, you're a dumbass. Shut up. You suck at this.
Yeah.
Don't say nothing else.
Well, Brad Chambly's done some things, that I didn't know about. I mean, I got out of the game. Oh shit, 93, 94. But Brad has done some bands that I didn't even realize he played with up until not too long ago.
Yeah.
So he's kind of been forging ahead.
Yeah. He's been around.
Yeah.
He's been around. And
He's such a whore.
Say it louder.
He's such a whore.
Brad, that was for you.
Yeah, he really is. And he would admit to that too if he were being honest. He's such a whore.
What was the band he was in with Mandy? Wasn't it Mandy?
Shit.
It'd have been there in the
Eve's Attic?
90s. I don't know, early 2000s maybe.
Was it Eve's Addict?
Eve's Addict.
That's not what I remember. I was thinking of somebody else.
I mean, we've still got cases in our trailer that say Eve's Addict on the side. So
Really?
I mean,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Well, who was in that band?
Shambly?
Okay. Well, that narrows it down.
Don't put that pressure on me, man. He's not here.
Oh, I forgot. We're talking to old motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
you left it open ended. I just had to hammer
Yeah, you
that
put the period
I'll
on
say,
on there.
I'll say this about Chambly. we go back a long time, and and I think he would be the first person to admit that he and I have had a abrasive relationship.
When-
Iron sharpening iron. We were sword fighting.
Yes.
Maybe, I don't know. No. Oh, Billy Stick came as a result of what happened with Lixeray. Lixeray, Kevin, you remember Lixeray?
Yes.
Oh, we talked about that earlier.
Oh yeah,
So,
killer band.
all right, so Billy Stick came as a result of that because Lixeray kind of fell apart due to our own stupidity and childhood.
It's funny how that works.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, we were children.
Yeah,
We
but
were
you know
children.
what? But you know
We
what?
were-
That shit happens even as like later on in life.
Yeah, I mean, but we were thrown into
Things do not change.
we were told, "Oh my God, you're wonderful. Here you go," and of course, that none of that came to fruition. But so Brad goes back to his home, and he starts running a club. Bryce and the bass player Shay Watson and I, and join up with Mark Saxton, and we start doing this thing with Billy Stick, and it kind of takes its own, So, well, Brad's running the club. We start playing his club. All of that works out over time, and it just it comes down when it comes down to it. You shift from one phase of life to another.
Sure.
I'm just like with politics. I did something, and it phased me into politics and phased me back out. And I
Right.
got back into music.
Yeah,
It-
as Billy said, God will lead you where you're supposed to
That's
be.
exactly
Yeah.
right. Exactly right. And yeah, as drunk as he may have been or acted,
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe a little bit of both.
because I know I want to do my best, Billy.
Give us a Billyism.
I might be. They call me a golf professional, but I'm not a professional golfer.
I hope y'all are friends.
I don't even like it, motherfucker. No, yes, we are. I think we are. If we're not,
But you know what?
don't
How
about
he landed Melissa is beyond me.
it.
Look,
Man,
talk about
man,
about
let me
batting out
tell
of your-
you. Let me tell you. How he landed Melissa.
That's
Yeah.
something we could talk
Hey,
about for hours.
right.
Yeah,
He's
but
a
you know
lucky-
she gonna come after you because she loves her Billy now. She loves her some
I
Billy.
look, I'm gonna tell you something else. I love me some Melissa. too.
Oh yeah,
She's
yeah.
good
Man, you
as I get.
cannot
She's
not like
the
Melissa
best.
or love Melissa.
No,
The
I mean,
best.
you want to talk about somebody that has supported local music
Absolutely.
Right.
like nobody else in this around. It's Melissa Kirksey, now Melissa Allen.
Right.
Right.
Nobody has ever supported local music like she has.
Absolutely.
That's
I
correct.
mean, she was among the first that took a chance on the Dirt Deacons. When we played her venue, she was among the first that said, "Hey Keith, you fucked that up." She'd tell me like, it's like I would, the whole Andy Gator,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
the Andy Gator session. That's what we call it. That's what I call it. Where we played BBs back in the day, and I drank way too many Andy Gators. Way too many.
We don't
Yeah.
know about drinking too much playing BBs, do we, Kevin?
Playing where?
Playing at
BBs.
BBs. What are you
Don't
talking
act
about?
like you don't know where that place
must have been
is. all
drinking
of a
too
sudden.
Oh gosh, that was
Yeah.
that was
When
one of the
Crow
most
played
fun.
there.
I know, I'm kidding. That
But
was
you
one of
know,
the most fun places
all-
to play.
We
Hell yeah, it
all
was.
we all play these deals where I mean, we all work regular jobs every day. I mean, we're just
don't.
regular guys.
Fucker.
But you go into a situation where it's like, all right, tonight we're going to play here. And sometimes you go into those situations and it's like, I've had a bad week.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I went into one of those situations at BP's, and I was like, I've had a bad week, and I drank 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 Andy Gators before we even
Got on
freaking
stage.
set up.
Yeah.
You know what I think would be fun, at least for the show, is like, let's say either have you or Brad or both of you, but have Melissa on too. And
it'd be great.
And just literally shoot the shit. I mean,
Yeah.
not have an
Yeah.
agenda.
Yeah.
Not having, okay, we're promoting whatever. You know,
Right.
let's just have some people on and just roll the cameras and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be
Come
fun.
what may.
That'd be awesome.
That would be fun. That would be literally shooting the shit.
Hell yeah.
Obviously, we're here to promote you guys, and we've been bullshitting. And
Well,
it's
we
been,
do
it's been a
appreciate
blast.
the opportunity.
So, do we have any parting words from Keith?
Whoa.
Putting you on the spot, motherfucker.
Shit, I thought I already parted some words.
Imparted.
Imparted. Man, I don't know.
That's profound.
That was beautiful, baby.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you and good night. I just wanted to come on here tonight and not suck as bad as Billy Allen did last weekend. No. I'm enjoying. I enjoy what we do.
Oh yeah.
That's the biggest thing I think for me. I enjoy what we do, and there's a whole aspect of this that is, I mean, when you're sitting around in your kitchen on a Sunday afternoon and you're listening to the music that just moves you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do. That's what I get to do every Friday and Saturday
right.
night with the Dirt
to
Deacons.
be able to get up and
Just
express that.
Yeah.
let her rip. Let her freaking rip. I mean,
And I think that translates to the crowd. Like, if
It
you
does.
really enjoy what you do,
yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
It's a
the crowd
symbiotic
picks up on
thing.
that.
Yeah.
You may hit the wrong notes. They
don't.
wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Well, it's not only hitting the wrong notes. It's almost like you're going to hit the notes that mean something to you.
Even if
You
they're
know?
wrong.
Yeah, right.
I was going to say, I remember that the next time anybody says anything, it meant something to me. Damn it!
But
Exactly.
that just goes to show when you're in the midst of something that just flows. I mean, but there's someone, and I'm not going to mention her by name,
What's her name?
but
Hannah?
we've got at least one somebody that will drive 12 hours.
Wow.
I am
Say
not
yes.
kidding you. She will
That's
drive
correct.
12 hours
I wouldn't have believed
from
that
wherever
shit
she is
until I saw it.
to see us play.
Wow.
12 hours.
Doesn't matter if she's from Gatlinburg area, but she lives in Vicksburg. But she will drive wherever she is. If she sees that the Dirt Deacons are playing, she will drive 12 hours. She's driven that at least that far.
Is it? But she comes to every gig.
No, not every
Almost.
gig, but if she can be there, she will be there.
That's
Wow.
That as long as somebody's out there like that,
right. And
that does that, man, I'm telling you, I'll do this every freaking night,
yes.
Absolutely.
and I love it.
So, Brad, is there anything that you want to say before we close?
First thing that comes to mind is we have some upcoming dates. Next weekend, August 2nd and 3rd, we're going to be at Shuckers.
Okay.
The end of the month, August 30th, we're going to be at the Ameristar. And then it's going to be in the studio for probably the next month, 6
That's
weeks,
awesome.
to get these new follow-up singles cut and
Yeah.
out and released.
Good.
So,
All right. So we'll get to see you either this weekend or at the end of the month.
Correct.
Awesome.
Correct.
So-
See,
so-
we're even going to come up there and hang out in your town. So,
yeah.
All right. I think it's time for us to say goodnight.
All right.
All right.
You know what we've been doing, and it's usually not working, but we're going to do it anyway
Uh-oh.
for everybody's entertainment.
What?
It's going to be in the key of F minor sharp.
F minor
Huh?
sharp.
Huh?
We're going to say good night.
We're going to say goodnight, and we're going to sing it in harmony.
We
What?
can't-
I don't.
Well, okay, I'm not going to say we, but you and Brad are going to sing. in F sharp minor.
What?
Good night.
You're
Are y'all ready? On
Actually,
the
have
count
to-
of 4.
No.
Just do your
You're gonna have
best.
to give me a tone.
That's
Good night.
Good night.
good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you coming and hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Be sure to like and share.
Thank you, Cleveland.
Wait, you're not in Cleveland.
Don't suck it so hard.
Like and share. Comment below. Thanks,
This has
y'all.
been fun. Thanks, guys, for coming.
Appreciate you having us, man. Thanks.
Good night.
Good night.